Hello, and welcome to another weekly reading. I have a lovely vanilla scented candle burning, frankincense oil, the king of oils, as we are about to have the sun, fire, step into the sign of Leo, the king or queen of the archetypes. We've also got some grapefruit and some cypress, and then some beautiful clear quartz, amazonite, and moonstone. Okay. So we have the sun moving into the sign of Leo on Wednesday and new moon in Leo on Thursday. So it's an early degree new moon. And we also, of course, have Mercury retrograde all week. Remember that this is not a personal reading and you need to pick a card between 1 and 4 to give yourself the theme for you of this week. But this is a collective reading. However, when you find it, even if it is out of the date, time, stamp, it is exactly what you need to find and to listen to. So this is how the magic of tarot works, okay? Let's jump in. Pick a number between 1 and 4, and let's see what we've got. Okay, here's the whole picture. And you can see we have two fire cards, the 7 and 4 of wands at the back there. We have a court card, the King of Cups, which I love because we are leaving the water sign of Cancer into the fire sign of Leo. So it's almost like this last part of the cycle of Cancer, which is the beginning of this week, is for real reflection around, have you become the king of that archetype? How did it go going through Cancer? And definitely reflective, because this card, 7 of Swords, is very indicative of the Mercury retrograde process. So it definitely feels to me like this is almost like the first part of the week where we're doing the Cancer things and we're doing the deep reflection, and we've reached this level of maturity, emotional intelligence. And if we're doing well, we're stopping to be conscious. And actually, if you work with the moon phases, which I am obsessed with working with moon phases and teaching on moon phases, then we start the week. Monday is balsamic moon phase, and balsamic phase is the very last phase of the 8 phases of the moon. And just like it sounds, it's like balsamic vinegar, really, or a balm, where it has basically distilled all the way to the sticky sweetness. Now, this is a time that we could just pass right over and jump right into the next archetype, or we can take that time to be deeply reflective of what the whole cycle brought us. This is something that I actually do in my personal journaling at Balsamic Moon. I read my whole journal process and I journal with the cycles of the phases of the moon. So I will have a new moon post, a crescent moon post, a first quarter post, and so on. And at Balsamic Moon, I read the whole month from the last new moon. And I see what were my themes. Where did I handle things in a way I can be grateful and felt like I honored who I was? And where did I feel like, oh, could have handled things differently? And so I have this deep reflection at Balsamic Moon every phase. And this is really giving everybody an opportunity to do that. You may not have the written down journaling with which to work with, but another cool way to do that is to check your phone. So look at your calendar schedule from new moon last to this balsamic and ask yourself, oh, what kind of clients was I seeing? What kind of meetings was I having? What kind of things were going on for me? If you have somebody you message regularly, you can even, or some bodies, you can go into those messages from that date, new moon last month to now, and say what was going on with me. Like what are the kind of conversations I was having? What are the kind of arguments I was having? Where were the creative outlets? And this will really help you to distill that balsamic phase and get the juice out of it in that reflective way that Mercury is very much offering you, like a permission slip. If this is something that's hard for you with Mercury retrograde in Leo, it'll be easier. So then 7, we have 2 sevens, notice that. And there is a bit of a go slow with the 7s. It's like a time to consolidate. So he's snuck in to the camp, or to the camp in the traditional tarot. Here we can say he's snuck into the bird's nesting space, and he's taking feathers that were not offered to him, but he is harvesting the feathers that have fallen. It's very much a card about he wants to bring peace. He doesn't want fighting, but actually the way that he goes about it is a little sneaky. And then also in the traditional tarot, he leaves behind some of the swords. He takes the swords from the army, but he can't carry all the swords, so he leaves some, and if some remain, there may still be a battle kind of thing. But he's trying to be a bit sneaky, and you can see there's a light of the full moon in this card. So we could also bring this into a timing technique. If you have a big question as you come into the new moon, you might place that question and get your answer at full moon, because right now we are not ready. It's only half cooked. There is a slowing down, a wait and see, a watch and wait kind of energy of 7, and we have 2 7s. The first one in swords is upside down, which very much for me is that mercurial retrograde vibe, because swords is air, Mercury is very quick and airy. The next 2 cards are in fire, which is also, of course, the retrograde is in fire, but also the new moon is going to be in Leo, and of course the sun is going to be in Leo season for the whole month. And this is one that says it's time to consolidate your own power. You can see how her solar plexus is really bright. You can see, in fact, she also has a bit of a reflective vibe when she's upright, because she's looking back to see, who are these enemies coming at me? And enemies are not always, very overt negative enemies. Sometimes attack comes from the people we love most. Like perhaps this would indicate that you're going to say, let's say, end the month or start the month. And when I say that month, I'm talking about from the Leo season or the Leo new moon rather than the first of a month, right? So let's say you're going to either end the month with people coming at you or start the month with people coming at you. And you're like, why is that? She's reflecting back. Why is that? What have I done that has got these people riled up? And it might just be like you've had an argument with a child or a spouse or whatever it is, or there's been a disagreement. Maybe it wasn't even as obvious as an argument, but somebody's annoyed with you. So this could be like almost psychic attack, which I always say to people is not quite as terrible as it sounds. It is often just angry feelings, unspoken feelings, unspoken thoughts and issues of the people closest to you. But the point is that she needs to take that pause. She needs to take that time to consolidate. Why am I feeling that I am under attack? Why am I feeling backed against the wall? Leo can be overly bolshy, arrogant, etc. Have I been too much? And Cancer, as we're ending that cycle, can be smothery. So let's say this is a mother and these are some children that she's arguing with. Have I been smothering my children? Have I been pushing my children? Have I been giving away my power to my children, letting them run rampant? And I mean, you could apply this to any kind of relationship. So you're going to think about where that is in your life. But how do I now recognize what's gone on, surround myself in a shield? This is a real thing, a shield. And if you shield yourself every morning and every night, you will be in that shield consistently, because a shield lasts for 6 to 12 hours. I'd say if you're just starting, bargain on 6, because it takes a while to be able to build that energy and sustain it. But anyway, let's not get too carried away with talking about shields. But how do I shield myself in my own energy boundary, in my own space, so that it doesn't matter if they're out there, I can stand my ground, hold my power, hold my center, and of course that center chakra there, or the solar plexus, so for me, with regards to the center chakra, the literal center would be the heart center, but the solar plexus chakra is a personal power center. So for me, those two can both kind of be the center of the chakra system, in the sense of centering oneself in one's power and light and in one's heart. And of course, Leo rules the heart. So she's holding her prayer position at the heart. She's being reflective. She wants to come at things with her power fully turned on, but from a place of the heart. And you can see there's like a really peaceful expression on her face. There's also a really peaceful expression on his face. And you can't see really his face. And then when we get into the Four of Wands, we can see the one lady's face only, but cheerful, jovial, celebratory. And fire is that. Fire is our passions, our creativity, our drive. And this is a celebration card. This is okay, let's have fun with our tribe. Let's have fun with our people. Fours are generally a pretty good, this is it. These are the foundations. These are the people I want to have fun with, that I want to get on with, that I want to create with. This is dynamic, and it's time to live and let live. It's also very nice for entering into Leo season, because Leo is gregarious and fun and playful and enjoys the pleasures of life. So, yeah, I think that is about all I want to say for this week, so we don't get too long. But bearing in mind, aside from Pentacles, we have quite a nice array of elemental expression. We definitely want to consider how the last cycle, the Cancer season, has brought us to this point. We want to look at where is it that we need to pause and reflect? Where is it that we need to build power? Where are we being a little bit sneaky or deceptive? Or where is that happening to us so we don't know who's coming at us with these swords? And when is it time to just let your hair down and have a little fun and not be so serious all the time? Okay, have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching, or for all your likes, shares, follows, and subscribes.